You're listening to Grimworld, and this is the story of the Crypto Brothers, a life of drugs and torture. Let's begin this spending binge, shocking true story that indeed ended behind bars. In this day and age, cryptocurrency disputes can be quite common. However, this particular dispute ended in a kidnapping and actual torture of an Italian man for over 2 weeks in a luxury New York City townhouse. John Woeltz, 37, and William Duplessie, 33, are now indicted on kidnapping, assault, and coercion charges in this court case. Maurer and Woeltz worked together on a crypto project called Grin Coin in 2020, if you've heard of them prior to this. These bros, love to show off and would fly wealthy people, hot models, and other cool people to their mansion in Smithland, which was around 135 miles southwest of Louisville, on their private jet, packed with caviar and alcohol. The pitch was a lucrative crypto investment opportunity. Sure, let's go. Now this is a little backstory on them. Eventually, their reputation was established based on their direct behavior. Various networks reported them getting high on cocaine all day and night, and they would start to bullshit and talk about projects with US intelligence, terrorism, and so-called crypto-related missions. Down the line, they eventually decide to escalate their deceptive criminal activities and eventually kidnap a 28-year-old Italian national named Michael Valentino Teofrasto Carturin.
Now to the latest on the alleged torture of a Bitcoin millionaire inside an upscale apartment in Soho. The man dubbed the Crypto King of Kentucky was set to appear in a New York court today to face charges in this case, but just within the past hour, he waived his court appearance.
New York Police Department Chief John Schell told reporters, "From what we know now, this was a dispute over crypto money. They all know each other, but this was a kidnapping for roughly 17 days where they tortured this person. When I say tortured, forced them to take narcotics, put his feet in water and shocked his feet and other types of torture for 17 days. Now let's get to the Grimworld breakdown. The 28-year-old victim told police he landed in New York from Italy on May 6th. From there, he went to Woeltz's 8-bedroom Soho townhouse. According to abcnews.go.com, Assistant District Attorney Michael Matson said Woeltz and Duplessie allegedly lured the man to New York from Italy by threatening to have his family killed. Once Michael Valentino arrived, the brothers took his passport, electronic gadgets like his phone, and was beaten and even shot. This is all included in the criminal complaint. Woeltz was reported to have hung the victim off their top flight of stairs and told him he would kill him unless he gave up his Bitcoin password.
This is my week on.
You can't kill me, Matrix. You need me to find your daughter.
Where is she?
I don't know.
They even forced the victim to smoke crack of all things, probably to make him go crazy and more vulnerable and willing to give up his passwords. They shoved the crack pipe into his mouth, took a bunch of pictures, and probably forced him to inhale. Michael Valentino was also captured by the brothers in pictures and video scenes, appearing to have fun, partying, and even having sex with a female. This media is thought to have been captured to potentially blackmail the victim. Prosecutor Sarah Kahn has disturbing details of this abuse shared at the defendant's arraignment. There was a picture of the victim actually on fire. The brothers would pour tequila on him over and over and set him on fire. They would even urinate on him. These are some sick and twisted acts. The torture would even go further. The victim was pistol whipped, slashed with a small chainsaw, and was subject to other torture devices as well. All in the name of greed. These brothers are evil. It is apparent that unnamed law enforcement agencies have also indicated Woeltz and Duplessis have tortured people before. The defense stated that there is actual video footage of the victim having the time of his life, which doesn't really make sense in regards to the torture that was being taken place. I'm sure it all escalated. Prosecutor Sarah Kahn stated, "Victims of abuse are not always going to act in a way that we expect people to." In any event, on May 23rd, it all came to an end. The victim decided to escape the torture home and ran into a traffic officer. From there, he was taken to a hospital in stable condition.
By WNBC, the unidentified victim, appearing to carry a bag and another item, escaped.
The victim believed he was going to be shot. They wanted his damn Bitcoin password, which was on his laptop. They were trying to come up, and this victim could have easily become a casualty. When you see an opportunity to get the hell out of Dodge, you gotta do it. Woeltz left the alleged victim to get the laptop. That's when the dude escaped. Inside this luxury townhouse, there was crack, cocaine, barbed wire, t-shirts with pictures of the victim having the crack pipe in his mouth, armor, night vision, helmets, pics with a gun to the victim's head, a gun and ammunition. These brothers are starting to sound like crackheads themselves, am I right? Inside the home, the torture hotspots are said to have numerous traces of blood. Woeltz, also known as Crypto King of Kentucky, was brought into jail May 23rd. The other brother Duplessis turned himself in to NYPD May 27th. The brothers were charged with kidnapping, assault, unlawful imprisonment, and criminal possession of a firearm. They were both denied bail at their first court appearance. The prosecutor mentioned to the judge that Woeltz should be held without bail because he is from Kentucky and he has a private jet and helicopter. He's ready to get the heck out of Dodge, ABC New York station WABC reported. A judge denied Duplessis' attorney's request for him to be held under home detention with his father in Florida on a $1 million bail. The brothers were indicted by a grand jury on a dozen counts, which include kidnapping, assault, and coercion. They pleaded not guilty. According to nypost.com, the two men were granted $1 million bail last month. Both have pleaded not guilty to kidnapping charges and say the charges are the result of a misunderstanding. They claim that Carturin was never a hostage, but was a willing participant in a debauched party. You're listening to Grimworld, and this has been the story of the Crypto Brothers, a life of drugs and torture. Please subscribe to Grimworld, and don't forget to check out our Spotify.